It don't take a crystal ball to know how some stories end. When someone keeps saying opinions like facts, the courts start listening. Southern mutton don't predict nothing, we just watch and write it down. Don't need a crystal ball to see it coming back around. When you state it like a fact and never check it first. Southern mutton, watch it close from the courthouse ground. True, stay patient while the paper getting worse. Same routine, new headline phone. Same bold claims that the record don't want. She speak real loud, no maybe, no seems. Turn opinions into facts like the courtroom clean. I ain't wishing nothing, I just seen the signs. When the words outrun, proof is a matter of time. History repeat when you don't learn yet. Courts don't care what you meant, just what you said. When confidence louder than evidence be, that's when patterns start explaining things to me. Don't need a crystal ball to see it coming back around. When you speak like a verdict before the truth's found. Southern mutton in the case, boots firm on the tile. We don't chase drama, we just watch the file, yeah. Country rap calm, I don't glow to grin. I just read the docket when it rolled back in. She called it truth, called it just how it is. But courts draw lines where the talking ends. I ain't psychic, I'm observing. Facts don't bend cause a voice is urgent. From testimony tone to the written page. Same outcome when the pattern don't change. Lies like speed, truth like distance. One burns fast, one keeps existing on. Lies like speed, truth like distance. One burns fast, one keeps existing. Don't need a crystal ball, don't need belief. When the law still runs on proof and receipts. Southern mutton watching through the courtroom glass, pointing out lies as they saying it's facts. Says, this ain't prophecy, this ain't hate, just history watching itself repeat. When words get reckless, the courts get busy, and the truth always shows up right on time.
Hello, hello. Hey, everyone. Hey, Kitten on the keys. Hey, Sarah, how are you? Hey, Gravy. Hey, Ruth. Your notifications are working, so happy to catch. Yeah, I'm so glad you're here. It's so weird. Like some of hey, Janie, some of the people that I follow, I get all their notifications. And then there's some that I never get, and then I go and I see that I'm unsubbed or whatever. It's wild. It is wild. Is it afternoon there for you, Janie? We're still morning here. It is 10 a.m. Yep. It's hot too. It is so hot. I was just outside taking care of the animals and stuff, and it is so hot. My husband sent a message at like 8:30 this morning, and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm already like dying." And I'm like, "Aren't you inside?" So I don't know. It's hot. It's a hot one. But it's 4 p.m. there. Oh, so you're 6 hours ahead. You might be in the UK or something. Um, yeah, it's hot. It's hot and windy there. Oh, good thing is we do have a breeze where we're at. We're up kind of high. We're kind of our house is like up on a hill for the most part, so we get really good breezes actually. So if I go out there and I'm standing like in the shade and have like on certain side of the property where there's a lot of wind, it actually isn't that bad. Hey, SD, it's tea time. Yep. Oh, okay, nice. Where's Middlesbrough? I'll have to look that up and see. I've traveled a lot of England and probably southern Wales. I haven't been. I mean, Wales is so tiny, right? I mean, for America, we say it's small, right? But I've been to probably the whole, a lot of southern Wales, and then majority of England actually. I haven't been up north real far, and I haven't been too much on the East Coast, like all that. But anyways, yeah. See, I haven't been up to the Northeast side. You just put up your umbrellas in the garden. Yeah, it's hot. What's the temperature there in England right now? The last time I was there in the summer was many years ago, and I was in London. I think at that time I don't usually go into London, but that time I did, and it was like record heat for y'all. And you know us Americans and ice. Yeah, I do. I do. My husband and I used to go at least I used to go twice a year if I could, but definitely once a year. We haven't been in a few years. I went to go visit a friend. I have some friends down in Brighton, well, near Brighton. See, I can never ever do Celsius to Fahrenheit. But yeah, that's I guarantee you it's a lot nicer than it is here. It's just humid here. You want to visit Wales one day? I love it there. I haven't been up to the northern part yet. My husband proposed to me in Wales, actually. Um, so there's that. But just on the border of England, like once you come over the bridge. Is that M4 or is that M5 that leads out of London into Wales? Anyways, just on the other side of there, pretty much near like Abergavenny. If anybody's familiar with that, that's he proposed to me just outside of Monmouth. Anyway, that's my story. But it's been humid. I know. See, it's like I have friends that from the UK that when they were down in Texas, they almost couldn't handle the humidity. It's just a different type of heat. Like it just makes it like we can travel places that are hot, but it's a different kind of hot. It's kind of like I can't really handle the cold, but I can travel places where the cold doesn't bother me as much, if that makes sense. Right? I know. Can you like having to wear like the what do you call them? Where they cinch in your waist, where you had to wear all the what is it? Goodness gracious. See, I do this every time, y'all. My brain. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to survive like having to wear like all the clothes, all the dress and stuff that was all required. A girdle. Is that what I'm thinking of? Hey, Miss H, how are you? Happy Monday, y'all. A corset. Yes, I said girdle, but yes, a corset. See, Susie Flies, thank you. This is why I have to have a chat. This is why I should not run shit by myself. He comes up the jet stream from the Caribbean to the UK. The ocean delivers heat. Yeah. Yeah. It's just funny how it's so different all over, just in the US alone, you know? Okay, are you? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Hey, Suzanne, how are you? I'm up early. It's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock here. I used to never be a morning person. I was not a morning person. Like 10 o'clock would have been early for me prior, but I'm up at like 5 now. So I'm kind of like, usually by 10 o'clock, I have all my stuff done. And sometimes I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs because it's so hot now. So I try to get stuff done outside early and then I'll come inside and do all the stuff I need to do. How hot is it there, Suzanne? Do you have is it pretty standard tropical weather? Like, I mean, or like consistent weather throughout the year? 8:13 AM or PM, Susie? Yeah, we need to, my husband and I, we used to travel a lot more. You know, we have so many animals that it's hard to. I used to, we'd have somebody that'd be able to stay every time we traveled that was familiar with the animals and everything, and it was just easy to get up and go. And now we don't really have that. I mean, we do half the year's desert dry. Nevada. Oh, so it's morning time there. Okay. Yeah, so you're in you're in the US. You're 2 hours behind us. Yeah, I haven't been to Vegas in a while. We used to go to Vegas all the time when I was younger. I haven't been with my husband. I'm not I just like when I was younger, it's changed so much. My mom and stepdad used to go at least 2 or 3 at least 3 times a year probably, 80 and 100. Is it that humid heat too, kind of like it is in like Louisiana, Suzanne? I should know these things. I don't want to spit out where you're at. That's why I'm asking. I think I know where you live, but I don't want to be the one to be like thrown out where you live and everything. One of the worst sunburns I ever got was in Vegas. So I'll tell you that, Susie. I bet it's hot there. We went out to the pool and it was pretty bad. But anyways, so I'm going to be live today, and then I won't be around all week. Probably won't be until I might be back. I might be able to go live Friday. I don't know, but we're just going to slowly get through these statements, right, and talk about just whatever kind of comes up. Oh, you're up near Tahoe. We were in Tahoe a couple years ago. We were there in the spring. We really enjoyed it. I love Tahoe. I've been there in the winter and I've been there in the spring, like early spring. So, okay, Costa Rica. That's what I was thinking. Man, that's one place I need to add. We need to add a lot of places to our bucket list. I'm one of these that when I find a place that I really enjoy, I just tend to like go back. Like I have this affinity for England. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I can't even explain it. Like I'm there, it's home, it's right. And every time I leave, I have like a serious meltdown. I literally don't want to come back. One year, the one year I was there, and it was right when COVID hit, and it was in the UK before it was in the US. And the first two cases broke out in Northern England, and um, and so whenever and we couldn't find anything there. So, the panic started. We were way down south. I was like I said, I was down near Brighton at this time, and that's when the panic started to hit, and all the grocery stores, you were standing in a queue like outside of there, like forever. You couldn't find hand sanitizer. Well, we weren't at that point yet, but you couldn't get hand sanitizer. You couldn't get toilet tissue. You couldn't get anything, right? Hey, Renell. And so my parents kept saying, just come back early. And I'm like, no. If I get stuck here, I was almost kind of like, well, if I get stuck here, I get stuck here. But I didn't want to leave my husband with everything here in Texas. But I flew back, and literally like a day or two after I flew back, they closed the borders to where I wouldn't have been able to fly. Hey, Goose. You love the UK too? Yeah, I don't know why I have such an affinity to it. You're getting your hair cut, Goose. Did you color it? Was it you that said you colored it the other day, Goose? Susie, don't cut it too short. Yeah, so then they started they had a quarantine way before we did here. So when I was talking to them, it was pretty scary for some of my friends up there or over there, around there, however you want to say it. And then, we went through everything here. But yeah, when I flew back, we had a few weeks before it was pretty crazy. But when I was up there, my husband had some stuff ordered. Well, I had some stuff ordered from Amazon to the house to see, and some of it we weren't able to get, but some of it we were still pretty early. Hey, Dana, or Dana. I don't know how I'm saying that. I think Dana. Hey, Laura. How are you? Good to see everyone. So, yeah, I heard someone say they can take Katie Joy in doses, and that's exactly how this is going to go for a while until it gets to the point where it's a little bit more constant. I mean, like right now, I think we're going to be in a lull for a little bit because she has until August 31st for her deadline. I don't really see what 7M would want to file at this point. We have to see what Katie Joy filed her answer. That's fine, whatever. It can, that's just her answer for the most part. It's the motions that we're going to be interested in seeing. And you locked down quickly. And they were taking care of anyone with COVID for free. Us Americans are such assholes, aren't we? The way that our system is. We went to Mexico during it too. Towards the end of it, we went to where did we go that year? I can't remember where we went that year. I think we were down south. I think we were Puerto Vallarta, but we had to get tested while we were down there. It was quite a bit. We were supposed to go to Hawaii. I bought the tickets to go to Hawaii well before. And unfortunately, the tickets were non-refundable and we could not fly. And we had a year. Well, okay, I'm lying. They gave us a year. Was it even a year to use the tickets at the same price? And we'd gotten such a good deal. By the time we were ready to go back, but we paid for both tickets. One ticket was like half of one ticket was what we paid for two tickets. It was crazy. She has been very, very quiet right now. Yes, Americans are arses. They locked him in his hotel during COVID. Australians did. Yeah, we were afraid, if we would have gotten stuck in Mexico, what they were doing at these certain resorts was pretty crazy. And he's in healthcare. Oh, wait, that's somebody else speaking. Sorry, I thought Susie said that he was in healthcare and he got locked in his hotel. But that was somebody else speaking it. Yeah, she's been very quiet. Why do y'all think she's being so quiet? Why do y'all think she's been so quiet? I have something I want to show y'all. I need to look. Let me look on my phone and see whenever I saved this. Let me just put it up here. It was a wild time, wasn't it? It was a wild time. We're in Texas. People are a little bit more rebellious. People are a little bit more like, whatever. You know what I mean? And so it wasn't too bad. I'm claustrophobic, so wearing a mask. I also traveled to Kentucky. I traveled a few times during COVID, and wearing a mask was very hard. It was very difficult for me. I traveled to Kentucky. I traveled to Illinois. Traveled to Mexico. I want to say when I flew back from England, we were already having to wear a mask. Maybe not. But I'm very claustrophobic, and it was very difficult for me. But it was just a wild time. So luckily, when I got home, I didn't have to do much. And in our small town, a lot of people didn't wear masks. Hey, Miranda, good morning. Hey, Sherry, good morning. Susie, she's scared. Admitted to being sad. Who admitted to being sad? Admitted to being sad. What did I miss? Maybe she's finally listening to someone who told her to shut up. In Asia, everyone wears masks. Didn't they? They always did prior, didn't they? They're very concerned about their diseases and health. And okay, is this one I'm looking for? Yeah. So this is May 25th, whenever I screenshot this. Hold on, let me catch up over here. Okay, I'm gonna change. The other day, whenever I went live, I couldn't log into Dropbox. Okay, so if you're in chat, be sure that you choose live chat or all chat. I think on your phone it's all chat, but on your computer it's live chat. So you'll be able to see all the comments that come through. I just switched over and I'm seeing some more that I didn't see. So if I stay in StreamYard and look at my chat, a lot of times I don't see all my chat. So if I don't acknowledge you, it's not because I don't want to say hi. Sometimes I don't see you. Found a big bag of face masks. Yep. My husband had to wear them all the time, obviously, because he was, but like I said, in our small town, if I was going to go talk to somebody, nobody cared around here. the people that are older, I mean, obviously we had a lot of respect for the people, but you could tell people were like able to really read how the other person felt. But like you go into the cities and stuff, it was a rough time. I hope we never go through that again. McKelty. Is she messing with McKelty again? Look, y'all, and Renell's in here, so Renell will be able to tell us, right? If she's talking about other stuff outside the lawsuit. I literally cannot really follow her. Like certain things I'll see, people will send me stuff, you know. I talk to some people that follow her and we'll kind of go over this stuff, but on a daily, I can't. And if I'm trying to put a video together to where I have to even listen to anything she says, I certainly can't listen to her daily shit. I can't do it. My mental health is way too important. You masked before COVID. Oh, your asthma. People are like, people are like, what? They assume that because you're masked, I guess that you've got like some deadly situation. You shouldn't even be out of your house, not understanding that it's for your own benefit, right? When you brought up YouTube this morning, did Katie Joy put out a video? I mean, I don't know. She's always putting out videos. Did she put out a video about McKelty? Do we think Katie went on vacay? Where would she go on vacay? So, St. Elmo's Fire? Her basement? No, I don't think she went on. Does anybody else think she went on vacay? Yeah, you made it, Sean Addy. She's still obsessed with the Duggars. Yeah, a lot of us can't handle her. She never goes on vacay, Suzanne. And Suzanne, I mean, did you ever know her? I mean, because you've known of her longer than most. I mean, because you knew of her kind of Facebook days and prior to Facebook, didn't you? You think Turd finally woke up and told her shut the fuck up? I don't think anybody can tell her. That's why I'm starting to think, y'all, this is just my theory. Do not, for people that have followed her for a long time, tell me what you think. People that also like, people that know her patterns, what you think. Yeah, Renell says she don't even leave her house. Doubt she went on vacation. She's even said she doesn't go on vacation because it's too hard on her son for his health, and so they avoid traveling. I know that she has said that. The liquor store. She does go to the liquor store. Oh, standalone video from another creator. You're looking for it. Okay. She opened her front door. Yeah. Step out onto your lawn. That's like vacation. She never took a day off. She still doesn't. And you can see what it's done to her mental health. And I'm not trying to be an asshole here. You can see what it has done to her physical health and her mental health. And so, when someone just said, oh, maybe Toad stepped in or Turd, I just don't believe so, because wouldn't you step in for her mental health and her mental well-being? I mean, maybe not if she's the goose that laid the golden egg, right? Like she's the one that provides all this money and makes all the money. He said that himself. Okay. That's just me saying what he said. But no, I've never been on those St. Elmo's Fire. My husband wants to. We've talked about it. Yeah. Liquor. See, I think she probably does get some of her stuff delivered. She's also said that her husband goes. Yeah, right, Renelle? She bought a new car, so she go out more. And it was accommodated. So why can't you travel, just take a 2-hour vacation, right? So you don't have to get on an airplane, because then that can be bad for anybody who has compromised health, who's medically delicate, right? The golden goose. So, my theory is, y'all, and again, just a theory, for those of us that have followed her for a long time and watch and patterns and stuff, nobody's been able to tell her to shut up yet. Nobody. We know her attorneys had to have been telling her prior, look, this is a bad idea. And she kept going. Because she still says, she still believes this. And I guess, look, anything's possible, right? Help me to change this background. This is hideous. She says, is that one even, That one's even more hideous. She says, that the anti-slap uh, in Minnesota is going to save her. And I personally just don't believe that. And so she kept talking, and I can't imagine her attorney's not telling her to. So her attorney's not been able to shut her up. Clearly, her husband hasn't. And he just might not give a shit. He might be in it just as much, but I don't know. I can't speak for that. Some other people might have more information on that than I do, but I'm only here to speak on the lawsuit. Really, I got to the point where it's like this is enough for me to speak on. This is something I feel people need to see what's happening. People need to understand that, look, just because I talk about this doesn't make me a supporter of Shin, doesn't make me say that there aren't victims, because I don't know. I've stayed neutral. I haven't said if I am or if I'm not. I haven't said really which way I feel. What I say is, by looking at the fact that he hasn't been arrested, that he hasn't been indicted, all these things, that it's not looking good for Katie Joy. And if somebody is innocent, having these accusations is awful. It's terrible. Right? And there's a reason why this lawsuit is still ongoing. There's a reason why this has not been kicked from the court. There's a reason why this judge has ruled the way she has. And now 7M has been allowed to file an amended complaint with 212 statements versus the original 87 that now she has to defend. There's a reason why this is still ongoing. It's because defamation is real. And they might be able to prove that. Yeah, I'm a Miranda and James supporter. Thank you, SD. I mean, I'm a supporter of the truth. And Katie Joy has a very difficult time telling the truth, right? Oh, you have your babies and your big babies. Enjoy your time with all your babies, Renelle, from itty tiny to the big ones. I mean, here's the thing. Katie Joy has the right, just like these, like when, let's say when the raid happened. Okay, let's just talk about that quick. And then we're going to get into the statements. But like when the raid happened in July, the local news stations there, and other publications, whatever, they all said they were basically reporting that there was a raid. Whose home it was, who the property belonged to. At that, the one that was televised, the one that was shown where the choppers are over, that was over the property where the church is. And where an old school is, it hasn't been remodeled or refurbished or whatever, but they're on this one building, and that's what was raided. And the gate was torn down. Okay, that was, so people were just delivering what was said, and that the property belonged to alleged cult leader Robert Shin of 7M Films, et cetera, of Shekinah Church, that the docuseries was based around, and that he is being accused of, sex trafficking, money laundering, sex trafficking falls under human trafficking, right? So human trafficking, money laundering, fraud, all the things. And so they said, they reported on that. That's what they reported on. That's okay to say, and that's within their right, because yes, you are reporting on a concern, right? A public concern, something that is a concern to your community there, especially to the local stations and people that put out locally. You have that right. Katie Joy had that right, but she took it so many steps further. We're not at those statements yet. I think we're starting out at, let me see here, what statement we'll be starting out at today. 85 or something. Hold on. We're in the 80s. Those statements start like in the mid 100s. So, they had the right to say Yeah, there was a raid. This is what we've been told it's affiliated with. You know, the guy who was the center of the Netflix docuseries. Yeah, it's his properties. Katie Joy went on News Nation and said a lot more. So we'll start getting into those. But nobody's been able to keep her quiet. Hey, Jane White, how are you? Yeah, that said, I support Miranda James in any case. I'm with you, Laura. You still cannot defame somebody. He can be, let's just say he is a monster. I'm not saying that, but he's not, if he's not a sex trafficker, you can't say those things. If he's not a schmurderer, which she hasn't accused him of that, she tried to allude to that in the very beginning, didn't she? She actually even made a statement that he's surrounded by dead bodies, like he has a trail of dead bodies or something like that. Didn't she say that at some point? Um, you know, if somebody's a schmurderer, I mean, like let's say somebody's done some white collar crimes, whatever, right? And they're in prison for, I mean, that'd be like calling, um, Martha Stewart a schmurderer or something like that, right? I mean, you can state to the facts, but you still can't defame. And I'm not saying Martha Stewart's a bad person. I'm just saying, right? She spent time in prison for different things, not related to if somebody was to come around and say something totally different, she'd have a case. But she hasn't been able to. Nobody's been able to shut her up. And I keep going back to the February 9th hearing. There's something in that. So the February 9th hearing, they were all required to be there and in person because it was a pretrial hearing. And then afterwards, she went live. I'm sorry, I keep saying that. She made a video on YouTube saying that she's being framed for the FBI raid. And then she said a lot of these weird things, and said that they're trying to say that I was behind this raid for the FBI. If anything happens to me, I've been framed. I'm not safe, basically. And that she never accused him of sex crimes, and that she never said she was a victim of his. So she basically said that 7M told the judge, look, if she keeps talking about this stuff moving forward, I don't know what they said was going to happen, but according to Katie Joy, they said, like, hold her accountable. So Katie Joy is saying things without saying things. Yeah, she went on news. Yeah, she went on News Nation. Oh, it was bad, St. Elmo's. We'll get into the whole. So when she went on there twice. She went on there a few days after the raid, and Ashley Banfeld was not the host. I forget who it was. I'm not familiar with all them that much. And she had to basically say, I don't think it was Ashley Banfeld that night, was it? But she had to say to her a couple times, all alleged. This is all alleged, because Katie Joy would state things as fact. Then she went on again in August. So that was like the end of July. Then she went on again in August after Miranda and James left social media. And Katie Joy goes on there saying they deleted social media. They're in danger. And it's because of Robert Shin. That Robert Shin deleted their accounts, not them. Right. And she kept saying deleted, and it's scary. And she's, and everyone's getting all worked up, like, oh my God, like what's going to happen to them? Now we can't follow them. And all that's come out later. Like, no, we didn't delete them. They were deactivated. And it was because we were getting so much abuse and threats and hate because of Katie Joy's narrative. And in these 212 statements that are in the new amended complaint, they include the entire transcript, right? With the link to the actual footage. So it's the entire transcript. We're going to go over some of that eventually. Again, we're at statements 85. I think we're starting at 85 today. And we'll see how far we get. But it's not until like way later that we even get into those, because that happened, July. And then we have all this stuff with this, with the forfeiture of the money that was seized at that raid, like during that raid. And then comes February, and she basically said that day, I'm not going to be silenced. You will not stop me from talking. And she has not said a word since. And here we are, June 29th. So here's a post that she did May 25th. Okay. I find this so weird, y'all. So a month ago. So what is that? Just a few months. what, 3 months, well, almost 4 months, I guess, after the hearing. Okay, that was the beginning of February. So at the end of May, she makes this post, and it's so freaking weird to me, y'all. It's so weird to me. Suzanne, if you're still in here, let me know your thoughts on this if you want to. It's totally up to you. And everybody else's too. I think Suzanne has just worked with Katie Joy for a long time. She understands her writing technique, her writing style, what prompts her to write certain things, I think. And so I'm curious to see what Suzanne thinks about it too, but everybody else. I mean, I don't go back far back. I don't have that, and I have my opinion about this. But if you are still in here, I'm curious. Okay, so she did this again, May 25th. Okay, so binge watched a bunch of Netflix series on the Italian mafia in the United States, only to hear a former FBI agent claim he gave blood B negative to save the life of Joe Colombo because the hospital was out of B negative and O negative blood. An FBI agent literally donated blood to save a mob boss. Like what the, and then, the mind blown emojis. And also, I'm B negative. So if I'm ever shot or need a blood transfusion, I'm gonna need the FBI to show up to ensure that I don't die. Because if I'm ever taken out, I promise you it will be one of the many cult leaders I've covered or their insane followers who do it. So remember, friends, they ain't nobody your fucking friend. No, ain't nobody your friend, Katie Joy. So remember, I'm B negative. I need your blood if I'm ever on life support. So she's basically saying, like, an FBI agent needs to come to my rescue because a cult leader is going to take me down. And if any of my FBI buddies, have my blood type, come save me. I take it as a different thing, but there's a reason I don't show my face or leave my house much these days. It's a special kind of fucked up. That's the only way to explain it, isn't it, Suzanne? It's a special kind of fucked up. That's the only way to explain it. She inserts herself in every story he thinks of. Oh, wait, I'm thinking of, okay, y'all must be talking to somebody else there, Suzanne. Oh, she. Okay, so you are. It's nuts. So I just find it interesting that, and I've said this for a long time, I don't usually say it out loud, but I definitely say it to people behind the scenes. Hey, Helen, thank you so much for being a member for 23 months. You're Mutton's cousin. I'm driving, so just listening. Thank you so much. Again, y'all, I appreciate all of y'all's support. It reminds me to tell you, if you have not liked this stream, please go ahead and do so now. It helps the channel. Memberships help the channel. Again, I promise you I'm going to be here through the end. That means that when this trial comes, if it comes, which I'm pretty sure it will, when it does, if it does, you will know what happens. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Histrionics. So one of the things that I cannot get out of my head, and this is just something we can all just run past each other and think about, because this is a very odd post. She does weird shit, but this is odd. This is weird. It's the same thing she did that day. Like, if I'm framed, like, basically, if the FBI takes me down, if something happens and the FBI says I'm responsible for this raid, I was framed. But we also, sorry, I had to take a drink of water. She also goes on and on about how, times she'll say I'm not afraid, then she'll say I'm afraid, then she'll say I don't show my face because I'm afraid. Well, quit calling people, quit doing all the things you're doing. You're taunting people. That's what she does. She likes to pick. She likes to taunt. She likes to cause an issue. That's what she does. Her blood, she's probably lying about her blood type, saying almost fire, but is B negative rare? It is. How about O negative? I'm O something. So I just find it strange that I've said for a while, like I said, I really say it kind of behind to people. I don't like to say it out loud. We have to remember all the things that happened whenever the docuseries came out, and Katie Joy said that she was swatted, and she said that Robert Shin was behind it. She also brought up creators. I'm not even going to bring that back up because it's pointless at this point, because it's lies and it's bullshit. She accused all these creators of being paid by Robert Shin to do these things and do a drive-by, but go by her house and take pictures, and then accused her neighbors. But outside of that, there were a lot of emails that went around, and that was 2 years ago. That was in the summer of 24. And it was about this time. I bet you if I were to pull it up right at this time, would be about the time that those emails were happening. God, I can't believe it's been 2 years. And then we see where time goes on, and then there's the raid, and 7M stating to the court, Katie Joy, this raid wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Katie Joy, right? So what do they know? I've always wondered. And then for those of you that have been around a long time, you remember what happened back during the Toddy Westbrook case. And a certain individual and certain things and emails and all that stuff, right? It seemed to repeat itself, but not at as a sophisticated level 2 years ago. There are people that say they think Katie Joy's behind it. There are people that say she's not. People say that she has a part in it, whatever it may be. And I just find it crazy that this raid happens. He's fighting to get this seized money back. So that's the only way we can kind of look at this case to see and tell that he hasn't been indicted and what the deadline is for him to be indicted. We covered that last time, and then I did a video on it as well. Hey, Misty Mo. Yeah, I've been going live. Set your notifications if this is a good time for you, because we have been going over a lot of stuff, and now is when it's getting good, because the new amended complaint. I don't know if you watched any of my videos or not either, but the new amended complaint that 7M filed with the 212 statements that Katie Joy now has to defend against. We're going over every single one of those, and right now we're about to start 85. We've gone through the first 84 or so, and we're going to go through that. Yeah, it's also the time that Shin, quote unquote, ordered pizza for her. KJ's story, not mine. Yep, that's what we saw, the receipt. There's a lot more behind that too that other people don't know out here on these streets. I think there's a lot of stuff that I was told behind the scenes that I would never say out loud, that is just so concerning. So then we see where the raid happens, and then this money that's seized. And now, like I said, the date has been extended once again for Robert Shin to for that money to either be their civil suit of forfeiture put against that money, and or Robert Shin be indicted. It's looking less and less like Robert Shin's going to be indicted. At this point, it's very hard to get money back once it's seized during a raid, that they can say, yeah, we feel like it's linked to a criminal activity. And just because they might say that does not mean he's going to be charged for criminal activity, but they can still keep that money. That's where that's at. But the fact that it looks like he's not going to be indicted, and then they go to this hearing in February, and they're basically saying, you better shut your mouth. Those are Katie's words. Well, not verbatim, okay, that Katie Joy has been told by 7M at that hearing, and she hasn't spoken since. Yeah, reset your notifications there, my friend. I know, Sean Addy, I forgot I'd even took a screenshot of this. When it comes to stuff like this, I will keep. And then I know that she's such a failure at trying to set him up. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you very much. You and I are on the same wavelength here. I think a lot of us are. I have to be very careful what I say, because I don't know anything as a fact, right? Yeah, okay, that's right. Somebody said they got his money back. I still believe they know something we don't. I agree with that. And if you watch my last video, it's a short one regarding that. It's still possible that he did get some of the money back. We don't know. It's hard to tell. I'm starting to lean towards maybe not, because the way that the last stipulated agreement was written, but that doesn't mean that is a fact either. So I don't know. Regardless, somebody knows something we don't know. And that's why Robert Shin is going to prevail in this, because he does everything behind the scenes quietly and sneaky, and he has excellent attorneys. And when Katie Joyce said that in the very beginning, when she started this shit, that he doesn't have any money, she was wrong. Yeah, why share this, right? It's weird. So is she and I even put a video out at one point. I think the title of it was, "Is she being investigated by the FBI?" Makes you wonder. It really makes me wonder. And she has not said a word since February 9th. Why? Nobody has been able to make her shut up on a certain topic. She'll always throw her jabs in there, doesn't she? Like, she might go a few months without talking about 7M, but then she'll throw a jab in. And she would always use Miranda's picture. Why? Because Miranda's image sells. And she needed to keep eyes on this, but she would get caught up. When she got caught up in the gypsy thing, she didn't look back. Now she's caught up in the Duggar thing again. She's not looking back, right? Like, when these things happen, that's what she does. But this is so random and wild. It's weird to me. So feel free to, if y'all are watching this on replay, please leave your comments your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Drunk sharing? I don't know. I mean, you can share like it's just a weird thing. She does these posts. She's done some in the past that I know she's targeting somebody individually, but she does it with a play on words. Okay? She's done it. She's done a couple, and it infuriates me because people don't understand what she's talking about, but those that do, people that know that are targeting them maybe, or people like me who know she's targeting, when she does that, it's a threat. She's making threats to people. Now this, I mean, that's how I take it, right? I could be wrong. But this isn't that, but this is giving something up without giving something up. Does that make sense? Now that we're going on now, Miranda, I thought I had to go. Oh, did you give your thoughts out there, Misty? Katie Joy could have had successful platforms had she not crossed serious lines. Oh, absolutely. This story alone proves people like gossip over someone's actual feelings. Like, here's the thing. Katie Joy works like a workhorse. She's never slept. And that thing, even Suzanne said that earlier, like she always was doing shit. She won't shut up. If you've got that kind of workhorse ethic, put it towards the good. But we have to remember, she got all of her followers and money and made it financially so well. She did so well for herself financially over the Duggars because they won't sue. And she got away with all this shit for so many years. Then she started to branch out. Now she's called herself an investigative journalist. And I've got to do a video on that because there's more stuff about that just eats at me. And I don't know if I have the pictures that I could even put up right now. I'll do it on another time. And we all know all the posts that she makes, like this one. Seriously, what investigative journalist, what respectable investigative journalist would put a post like this up? Oh, hey, Misty Mo, I don't understand these jewels, but thank you so much for sending. I didn't see it come across my screen, but it says that you did. So thank you. Thank you. I don't understand what any of those mean. Misty, if you have a good understanding, please let me know. And yes, thank you, Misty. Y'all hit the like button. All right. We are going to take this off the screen and start with our statements for the day and see how far we get. Okay, so I was going to make sure everybody can see that. Can you hear me? I know, Christine. It's just awful. It's awful. Poor LB. Oh, well, thank you. Flow state. Hey, thank you, Shauna. You don't know what they are, but you're using them for me. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know I go in people's lives that I just like watch that I don't comment in. Like it's just some drama that I do not even want to make myself known. It's just stuff that I listen to that's just like stupid shit that I listen to and but it's drama, but it's not like Flava and them. Yeah, I'd be in their chat, but Flava's been she decided to go get to work. I mean, she's always worked, but her hours are different. I think she was promoted. Good for her. And so she's not on as much. Like if I was in her chat, I'd be sending those being like, "What is this? What is this?" But there's other people I don't want to send it in because I'm not in chats very often. I need to go into I want can you I guess you can't send them unless the channel's monetized, huh? Hey, Brittany, you're late to live. Look, we were just catching up. I was talking some other stuff. You can always go back and watch that, but we're just now about to start where we left off the other day when it booted me out of Dropbox and it wouldn't let me sign back in. And I was like, oh, the hype is only after a live or like a video. Oh, okay. That's good to know too. It's like, I think it's like TikTok where you give the little gifts. Yeah, I think it is like a super sticker. I think it's like TikTok gifts where you have a lot of different denominations to do it or something. I don't know. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't really know. I forget what I was saying. Okay. So, but back to the part real quick where if Katie Joy really was focusing on the good, but karma's a bitch, y'all. It is. If you're hurting people and you're putting out negativity, it's gonna come back to you. If you're putting out good positive energy and you're helping people, it's gonna come back to you. Katie is a YouTuber, a journalist, not a reporter, not an investigator. She loves telling people she is part of the media. And then Suzanne says she is not. She decided to dub herself that at Pathos, told her to rebrand from blogger. They mean like opinion writer, daily columnist, but not journalist. And I know you've seen Suzanne. Have you seen whatever where she's like even more hardcore fighting that she is a journalist? Thank you, hot tea drinker. Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing the Lord's work, reading all this crap. Oh my God. Look, 212 statements. I went and found every post that I had or that is still out there and highlight. You'll see. But look, it when I have downtime and I need something mindless, that's actually kind of mindless because I can see, because 7M in their amended complaint for the 212 statements, they put the date, what social media platform it was on, and the statement they considered defamatory, whether it was in a post, just that part of it, or whether it was a live stream or a video. So let's start at number 85. So this is where we left off last time. Oh, that's what I was saying. When I left off last time, it booted me out of Dropbox. And it wouldn't let me sign back in. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I was over it, and I had a bunch of stuff to do anyways. Thank you, hot tea drinker. How are you doing, hot tea drinker? I said thank you and thank you again. Yeah, she says she's an investigative journalist now, and she is doubling down on that. And right here, okay, so what I'm about to show, this is in February of 2023. Okay. There were 4 motions that 7M filed in November of 2022. Katie Joy filed a motion to compel. 7M filed 5 motions. One was a motion for default judgment that was denied. Thank you, hot tea drinker. They're not showing up on my screen like I know they normally do, and that's weird. And the motion for default judgment was denied. But one of them that they put in there was a motion for injunctive relief. They wanted Katie Joy to stop talking, or at least if she was going to talk, that she was to put, you know, she was supposed to indicate that she was in current litigation with these people that she was talking about. But all that was denied. And the judge basically said, you know, and this was the original judge on the case. All right. This was the original judge. The judge right after this, I believe it was March, there was a reassignment. Okay. And the current judge that is on the case now, they took over like March of 2023. So this is just before that. This judge says, no, I've got to deny this injunctive relief. I cannot stop her from talking. At that point, Katie Joy was saying, I am a journalist, and the courts are saying she could plausibly be a journalist. Okay, later on, the courts are like saying we never deemed her as a journalist, and they're also saying Katie Joy identifies herself as a journalist. They never say the court identifies Katie Joy as a journalist, or they don't say Katie Joy of Without a Crystal Ball, comma, a journalist or an investigative journalist, comma, right? They don't label her that. She does this herself, okay? This right here is when she really, 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 okay, took it as she was an investigative journalist. And this is so, hey, Rabbit, how are you doing? Yeah, I mean, she can call herself a journalist, can't she? Right? I mean, unfortunately, we're not at that time yet. We're not at that place yet within our courts to where people that don't have a degree, I mean, if you're reporting on something, you can call yourself a reporter. If you're a journalist because you write, you can, you know, she's built herself up, and the delusion is real. That's my opinion. It's just bizarre to me. Okay. But also, I think it's going to hurt her more in this case. That's just my opinion. I think the judge is leaving it up for the jury to decide, but I also don't even think it's going to matter. I could be wrong. It could be a big point of contention, but that's going to take somebody with more knowledge than I have regarding that. And as we get closer to that, right, we'll try to touch base on that again. But I do want to do a separate video on that. But this is where she started to really double down that she's a reporter. Oh, it's so gross, y'all.
These lawsuits I've been involved in. And listen, it's such a standard part of work.
Okay, so we're at number 86. This was her post.
A lot of people ask me questions about all these lawsuits I've been involved in. And listen, it's such a standard part of working in the blogging and media world. Unfortunately, I would think of it as sort of an occupational hazard. I have been targeted frequently by some people that I think are just like up to really not so good things. And so sometimes those people don't like me reporting on this. The court does not consider the claims to have substantial likelihood of being proven. So the court doesn't believe that Robert Shin has a case against me, nor would he win in any way, shape, or
Hot tea
form.
drinker. Same hot tea drinker.
Robert Shin has a case against me, nor would he win in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. The judge said that 7M had a steep hill to climb to prove defamation. That's any defamation case, right? That's any defamation suit. Let's not get it twisted. All right. So, because they said she's plausibly a journalist. So this is where she starts to go off the rails, y'all. Look at that fucking grin. Pardon my language. She makes me so mad, I swear. So here's 87 and 88. They were Instagram, they were deleted. I don't know if it was a story that, no longer showed, if it was an actual post and she deleted it. But on February 8th, which is the same date as that, I believe, I was told today my legal team, the judge granted me journalistic qualified privilege. They were extremely happy. The tone was the lawsuit was dead because I am effectively immune of claim. I know we went over this last time. But we're just going to repeat it. Because I was effectively immune of claims of defamation because there is no way the plaintiff can prove malice. Okay. This is why the judge stated that the plaintiffs are extremely unlikely to prevail in their lawsuit. I mean, your fucking interpretation skills, Katie Joy, are shit. And if your attorneys interpreted it that way, no wonder why you're in this situation you're in. No wonder. And then she said, I broke the story about the pastor. Where before she kept saying, like in her first answer in the very first, all of this. And even later on, she was like, I only talked about it because other people talked about it. I know, right, Rabbit? Can't stand her. Grin makes me want to punch my screen. Which is ridiculous. I wouldn't. She don't make me that mad, but still. Now she's saying that she broke the story. And that's why they obviously. Oh, well, here, I must have found the post and didn't realize I found the post. So, but you can see where it's highlighted. Okay. That is what they're considering defamatory. Okay. Where it's not highlighted, like where she puts, here's what qualified privilege means for defamation. They didn't include that in their amended complaint. And she even says, on top of not getting access to my sources, right? But this is what they're saying is defamatory. This only right here, what's in blue, that's highlighted in blue or whatever, that's what is in the new amended complaint. Yep, that is a shit-eating grin, isn't it? That is a shit-eating grin. Oh yeah, Suzanne, I hope I've been meaning to say that to you. I hope everything is well with you. I hope your husband's doing all right. I just hope everything's okay with you and everything. I don't, a lot of times I'm very weird about like wanting to say things to people and then I don't because I don't want to cross a line and I'm afraid to say things in chat and I don't want to say things on my live stream. If I see it in my chat or whatever, I'll address it. But yeah. I know you have a lot of people that think of you and pray for you and support you. Same with you, Rabbit. Rabbit says she's so jealous when she sees your life on Facebook. See, I'm not on Facebook, so I don't really follow everything. And I don't ever go on X anymore either. Like I'll literally make a video and then I'll just share it to X, but I don't go look to see if people comment. I don't go look to see anything. I'm only on YouTube. Okay, so 89. This was the post where she says breaking news. Okay, I have this going too fast. Hold on. Where she says breaking news. That she's seeking sanctions, right? And then she puts the letter that her attorneys wrote to 7M's attorney. And she basically says, due to a recent cross complaint filed in LA against Robert Shin without a crystal ball, and my attorneys have put Robert, Miranda, and James Derrick's attorney on notice that if they do not dismiss their lawsuit, we are seeking sanctions against them for attorney's fees. Notice how that's what they highlighted to be defamatory. Oh no, earthquakes. If Shin fails to file a motion to dismiss, we will file a motion for sanctions against him and demand attorney's fees once the lawsuit is resolved in our favor. There's absolutely no way we can lose at this point. What is Katie Joy's term that she likes to use? Aged like milk. Doesn't she use that one a lot? Aged like milk. I think this aged like milk. If Shin fails to file a motion to dismiss, they'll file a motion for sanctions against him. They filed a motion for sanctions again. December? Just this past December. That was just ruled upon, and they were denied. Both parties filed motions for sanctions. Let's just be clear. But now this one gets me. This was a live long. God, y'all, I can't stand looking at her face. I can't. I cannot look at her. How does her husband look at her? I know, Christine, like she lies about, she's lied about the judge, and that's been shown to the judge. She's lied about the courts. She's lied about her attorneys. I mean, usually she's good about, maybe it's not a lie. It's just how she words it, right? when she says that or maybe her attorneys do. Maybe her attorneys have said all these things, and that's even more scary. I don't know which one's more scary. Like which one's more scary? Yeah, there's nothing to go off of in Minnesota regarding this. And I think she thinks too that because, in Minnesota, look, the lawsuit started in 2022, April 2022. In May of 2024, the new anti-SLAPP law was brought into play. And so she's saying that anything after that law, anti-SLAPP should cover. And she wanted that. Remember, that's one of the questions that she wanted certified by she wanted certification by the appellate court. And the judge was like, no, I've got this. She's basically saying you don't have jurisdiction over this or whatever. You don't have the power in your court. So it needs to go to the appellate court to decide, right? And that was her only really option at this point to even try to appeal anything. Because once 7M put in this new amended complaint with 212 statements, it's bad for Katie Joy. It's bad for her. And so there's no case study. And that's why Katie Joy is like, well, I think a higher court needs to really look at this because there's nothing like my case. And it's true, there's not. There's not a case that's been in active litigation and then anti-SLAPP comes in, right? And that's been going on for so many years. Yeah, that Shin sure is losing, isn't he? All right. So this one she did that same day, or let's call it a couple days, right? And she went live. She was live for a really long time. She said a lot of shit. I'm going to let this play through, but every time it flashes, it's going to skip to the next statement that 7M considers defamatory that they included in the 212 statements. This is not the whole live. These are only the statements that 7M deem defamatory. And here we go. I'm going to let the thing play out. I'm going to not make it so fast.
And the judge told him that it was going to be damn near impossible for him to win because, one, he would have to prove malicious intent, which there was no malicious. We've been provided no discovery. And this week, after a filing happened in LA County, we sent a notice to them that we're seeking sanctions from them if they don't dismiss this case because we're going to win. But generally, you would not file a claim like this against someone if you didn't have evidence. And because there's 7 people, there's a probability that this could have happened. Okay.
So, I just hit mute instead of pause. All right. Actually, that's not the live stream I was thinking of. Okay, that's not the one where she said that Robert Shin, that it reminds her of a nail parlor, basically saying that he's running a sex trafficking ring. See, I know that's the thing. Defamation is so hard to prove, Rabbit. It is. And I think, and I never really liked saying this out loud before, that it was going to be an uphill battle for 7M, just like the original judge said, okay? Because defamation is so hard to prove. Those first 87 statements, I think Katie could have won some on that. If not, I don't know, but it would have definitely been more in her favor then than it's going to be now. I don't think anything's going to be in her favor now because now she's stating things as fact that they can prove are false. And they can say, look, Miranda told you to stop saying this. She told you this is not accurate and you kept doing it anyways. There are cases, there's things like that that can prove defamation. Again, we don't know how a jury's going to react. We don't know we still don't know what Katie's motions are going to be fighting all of these statements. Those we probably won't see until the very end of August. So we don't know, right? But the statements got worse and worse as time went on. And it sucks that this case has gone on this long. And it's been, I can't even imagine how exhausting it is for the court, the attorneys, and all the people involved, right? But it's good that it has because she didn't stop talking. but you're right. I mean, we can see where things just seem to be made up. Now, you know, but they can't bring in other cases really either to kind of prove, look, she makes all this shit up, unfortunately. I mean, they've got enough in their own case. But yeah, but see, that's the thing. That's what's so crazy about this, because all of us, we know what Katie Joy has done. We know all of the things. We've heard everything. We've seen everything. We've watched everything. This judge only knows what is submitted. The jury's only going to know what is allowed to be heard, right? They're not sitting there with all of this, like, but what do you mean? What do you mean? So we have to remember that just because we look at everything as being like just dead on, oh, this is absolutely, this is a no brainer, doesn't necessarily mean that's how the jury's going to see it. That is why we are here. This is exactly why I want to show you the 212 statements so you can see what the jury is going to see. You're going to hear what the jury is going to hear. And you have to look at it from the perspective of it's a juror, not as a Katie Joy hater. You can still do the perspective as juror and still hate her, okay? But we have to look at what they're going to see and hear. That's why I show you all the filings. That's why we discuss all the filings. That is why I'm showing you this new amended complaint, because in my opinion now, it's bad for Katie Joy. My opinion. Bad. So number 91. Let me go back here real quick. You won't be able to hear me if I do that. Hold on. Okay, you should still be able to hear me. Can you hear me still? All right. I've been working with a production company since spring of 2022, and through this company, we have been able to secure families, friends, and former members of Shekinah Church. I was approached to simply help tell a story. Well, let's see what the date is on this. Hey, Bean. If I haven't acknowledged you yet, good to see you. Sorry, y'all. I had to take a sip of tea. Okay, so that's what was included in that last one. Pictures are deceiving. Hashtag free Miranda. I haven't forgot. Okay, so this is. Hang on, I'm going to let it roll back through. I don't see a date on this. Maybe it'll show it at the bottom. Okay, regardless. I haven't forgotten about 7M, Miranda, or the Wilking family. I promise you that this photo is not what it seems. I know this factually. Okay, there you go. Right there, she's saying as a fact, I know this factually. This photo is not what it seems. How is that not stating something as a fact? Now, how are you going to prove this, Katie Joy? I also know that Miranda's visits are not what they seem, and there are still huge walls. Okay, well, obviously, the Wilkings are going to be her source for that. She is still not free and is still under a lot of control. But how are you going to prove that? Because Miranda says she's not. Okay, like, how is this going to play out? Because the Wilkings are obviously her source on this. If I didn't know her and was a juror, I would be disturbed by her affect. I would totally be like, her affect. Does she even have any? It's like she has no. She does. She has this flat affect, unless when she knows that she needs to put on something, then what she's always gone to, who I don't mention on this channel, but she always has a sympathy card, right? Where she'll play that sympathy card. How is she going to do that when she's on the stand? Are these jurors going to be able to see right through her? And she doesn't have a block button. Bean, like, perfectly said, how is she going to block the jurors on this one? She don't like what they have to say. She can't block them. That's her MO. What they highlighted in number 93, reporting on cults can be very taxing on my mental health. Additionally, the smear campaigns led by cult members against reporters can be overwhelming. That's what they consider to be defamatory. I know, Laura. That's what frustrates me so much is she was there like on Mother's Day, um, just before the docuseries, right? The docuseries was it the year before? I have to look at the timing on that. I've got it. But nonetheless, she was trying to work things out with her family. She was visiting, and then they went ahead and did the docuseries anyways. Like the docuseries was in production. They were, I don't know if that what stage it was. I don't know if they were still filming. I don't know if they were still telling the story. I mean, I cannot speak on that. I don't know. Somebody who was involved would have to say. But I do know that Miranda was going back home and she even has video. And then Katie Joy's like, oh, these videos are just for show. These are just to prove to Robert, this is just to make people think that they're actually visiting their family. And he's making them do this. I mean, speak out of both sides of your mouth. Sometimes two things can be true at the same time, but not that. Here it's the amount of money that I've spent on frivolous lawsuits in the past 5 years is more than I ever expected to spend. Well, guess what, Katie Joy? It is not going to stop. It is not going to stop. You think that's been a lot? From here on out, from the beginning of this year, let's say like November of last year, of 2025, with all the motions she's been having to file, what's about to happen with these motions, then to prepare for trial and then trial. Yeah. This isn't that you haven't spent shit yet, Katie Joy. The goal for some is to destroy and bankrupt me. Okay, well, good. Despite their attempts, I will not stop reporting and helping to bring light to darkness in our society. Funny how she has, like we were talking about at the beginning of this live. I'm going to keep going back to February 9th, y'all. The only time Katie Joy looks kind is when she sees her reflection. Yeah, when Miranda did that, oh God, that was heartbreaking, wasn't it, Misty? When Miranda was like, I don't understand why my family would continue doing this. Like she was hurt, she was broken. You could see the pain, and Katie Joy mocked her. Katie Joy mocked her and said, "This isn't her speaking. She doesn't. That's not her. That's not her." She can try. Yeah, she'll try to find a way to bring that sympathy card to the court case, but Amber Stavig will stop her dead in her tracks, pretty sure. I've been designated a point of contact for updates on Miranda Wilking and her involvement with an alleged cult for more than 2 years. So she's been a point of contact for the Wilkings. And I don't know, but see, that's all they highlighted. They didn't say that this decision was made by Melanie Kelly and Dean Wilking after I promised to help them free their daughter from a dangerous environment. For some reason, that's not highlighted. What 7M put in the minute complaint is, I've been designated a point of contact for updates on Miranda Wilking and her involvement with an alleged cult for more than 2 years. So let that resonate for what it will. Again, Amber Stavig is strategic. She's smart. Okay. Just because you've only heard about the Wilkings doesn't mean this story is about them. In fact, this story encompasses more than 25 years of trauma and victims. These are faceless y'all. These are faceless individuals that have been exploited and harmed. Immigrants that have been forced into green card marriages that have been arranged. All of this is documented in court records. Not true. It was allegations that this was happening, and that was never proven. He was never charged for that. Okay. And that lawsuit that was against him, he won that lawsuit. Allegations. Hang on, y'all. Okay, so this is not a harmless group. This is a sophisticated group that premeditated this plan years before they found the dancers. They were looking for entertainers for years to do this to. They hit pay dirt during the pandemic. Dancers were out of work and they needed income. Feeling unstable and insecure about their careers, these dancers were vulnerable. She says this later on as well, that there are the next time she says this about these individuals, she calls them invisible people, invisible human beings, invisible people. I forget what it was. I did a video on it. I did a video and included that recently. But she says, but then she's more open about, well, this is sex trafficking. Like later on, like we're at number 94, like we get into into the high 100s. She's then saying that it is in fact sex trafficking, basically. She's saying, that this is all, do I have this on play? Yeah. That this is all documented in court records. It's not though. It's not. And that's going to be a problem for her. That's a problem. Like, again, we got to look at this from from a juror's perspective, right? When I have an arrow pointing at the title, that means that is considered defamatory. So 7M says that this is defamatory statement. Not me pitching a new docuseries to 2 separate production companies. Oh, yes, that's exactly what I did today. A story that needs exposure. The real story, they said they were super interested. Well, how'd that work out for you, Katie Joy? Because here we are. And I don't see anything else about this. I don't see another docuseries. God, she just annoys the shit out of me. Yeah, see, Misty Mo, I mean, that's the thing. Time always kind of reveals the truth, doesn't it? Like, why haven't more people come forward? Like, it's not like all these people are falling out of the trees going, okay, good. Now I can come and I can say my piece because, they've been exposed and I'm not afraid for my safety anymore. We didn't see that. And we're still not seeing that. She'll turn on the Wilkings. I know, Rabbit, my heart for Miranda and James, but they're the ones that eventually are going to come out ahead in life. They are the ones that are going to somehow, hopefully, move on, and they will be the ones that are happy in their existence and happy in their life. Katie is a miserable human being, in my opinion. Yeah, yes, Laura Vaughn. She even says that, like, about how they exploit, in her words, they exploit black men. Robert Shin exploits black men. Okay, whatever. And we saw those. We saw posts of that already where she said that. I can't share specifics, but I have hope this specific group will finally be exposed and the victims will get justice. So again, a lot of this, okay, this is just me looking at this. What I see Amber Savick doing here is prefacing that Katie Joy played a role in Robert Shin being raided. Does that make sense? She's showing, basically saying she has a team and she's going to expose these people. Now she's saying she has a specific group. She hopes this specific group will finally be exposed and the victims will get justice. Okay. So she's talking about exposing them. She's talking about bringing them down. And I think that 7M has a very strong argument. I don't know what they know is fact, obviously. Clearly, I don't know that, right? But that's just my thought. Showing how Katie Joy was behind this raid. It's coming. It's time for the victims' voices to be heard and time for accountability. Now, this was May of 2024, so 2 years ago. No more hiding in the shadows, Robert Shin. Your days of harming people are over. And then they highlighted all the hashtags. Okay. And this is whenever the docuseries was was due to be released. Okay. And that's why hashtag coming soon. But she was also trying to imply that she had other people she was possibly working with to take her down. So let's see here. So this is 2 years ago, and we're already at let's see here. So again, remember that the judge ruled or had said that the hashtags in her post, whatever the hashtag is, that you have to look at that post as a whole. So time's up for you. Hashtag time's up, hashtag for you. Is that what 7M is trying to really scream to the jury? Because my guess is they have proof that Robert Shin was raided and that Katie Joy helped incite that, helped, was a part of it. They're making it very clear. And my guess is there are things that he was raided for that he never should have been raided for, and they might have proof of that. Robert Shin is suing me. Hold on one second. I want to look at the date on this. All right. Anyways, Robert Shin is suing me, and one of the statements he claims damaged him is that someone was, quote unquote, waterboarded in his church. The statement is from his praise team during a service in January 2020. Some of you are going to remember exactly what this is all about. Some people think this is a huge deal. Some people think, play on words, whatever. I'm just gonna skip through this one. We'll see how this plays out. But this is the clip from their now deleted SoundCloud account. They believe in healing, money, and apparently dumping water on people during service. He will, of course, deny these claims and state that this recording is not from his church. Okay, well, you can't say that he's going to do that, and you can't say that that's what he meant. And if you listened to this audio, it was nothing what Katie Joy is making it out to be. She was saying that he was waterboarding people. Anybody, if you go look at like what the term truly means, I mean, you're inciting fear and panic on purpose. And then if you go listen to the audio from that sermon, it's like, what? And then they included these hashtags: Dancing for the Devil, Dance Cult, Netflix. So, this is May 11th of 2024. The Netflix docuseries was released at the end of May of 2024. By the beginning of June, it was out. They said I forget, Rabbit, do you remember, Misty, do any of y'all remember what exactly was said in that audio? I think it wasn't him speaking. I think it was Hannah Shin. I could be wrong, but it was a female. And she said, they were talking about being baptized, and she said waterboarded, but I think it was because it was whatever. It was taken wrong. And that's my opinion, and that's 7M's opinion. And it was just wild. Okay. There's also a likelihood that Robert Shin will sue Netflix and the production companies as an attempt to reclaim the narrative, in my opinion. It's a game for him, in my experience. I've dealt with him for 2 years in court. Everything I've experienced from him in court and online has been a game. He monitors my reporting. Court records indicate that ex-dancers learned about his misdeeds through reporting and then came together to share their experiences. The overwhelming takeaway was that all of the ex-dancers that left had been misled, defrauded, and many of the females... Okay, well, that went too fast. Regardless. Anyways, whatever. Robert has attempted to sue me for public statements other people have made and court allegations from public filings. Because you're misinterpreting it. You're saying that it's saying something that it's not. There will be a huge push to make it seem like they are all free and capable to do as they wish. The propaganda will likely get worse leading up to the series. Okay? So she's making all these accusations. And then she's like, this should be ignored, discounted, and understood as a lie. So ignore and discount anything that Miranda and James say because they're lying. Let's not say, no, don't listen when they say that they're being hurt by the people, not Robert Shin, but that they're being hurt by commenters and followers and people that Katie Joy has sent over. Don't listen to whenever Miranda cries and says that she's scared. Okay, don't listen to that. It's a lie. Who says that whenever you're the one that's labeled them a victim and then also says it and tries to act like you are a victim's advocate? The truth that will be revealed is devastating and horrific. It's worse than anything I could have ever reported on my own. All of this will be revealed and more. And it was one-sided. Yeah, he's never said a word about her. But she says that whatever Miranda and James say, it's him making them say that. You know, I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's all of the, around this time when the docuseries came out and Miranda and James were getting so much hatred. It was awful. It was awful. Number 99. News is beginning to spread about the upcoming docuseries about Robert Shin and his alleged cult. While the series explores the stories of dancers being lured into a cult, there is more than 20 years of history connected to the group that is also uncovered. And look, let that be their story. Tell those stories. If victims are coming out and telling their story, it should be about their stories. Thank you so much, Hot Tea Drinker. Oh my God, that is so cute. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. 550 jewels. I don't know what any of this means, but I thank you so much. That one's a doozy. They all are. I appreciate them all. That was so cute. Let it be their stories. Why are we making it about Miranda when Miranda's not even there to tell her side or tell how she feels? And then as soon as Miranda does, Katie Joy mocks her and says she's lying. Brave survivors of the group who joined as young teens, talking about the sisters, share their heart-wrenching stories about the trauma and abuse they experienced in Robert's alleged cult. Okay, that's fine to say because that's their story. They're there to tell it. The above picture was shared in the trailer of the series. This woman is a testament to bravery, courage, and survival. If that's her story, then she can tell it. Why isn't Miranda there to tell her story? Why are you telling a story for Miranda that Miranda says isn't true? There are so many people that have been impacted and hurt by this group. Many of the survivors feared speaking out. And that might be a statement right there. That's why they're including this is who are these survivors that are afraid to speak out? Who are they? Where are they? Where's their story? If they're afraid to speak out, where are they? You're stating that as a fact. Where's your source? Because another thing Katie Joy said in her video on February 9th, and keep this February 9th thing, y'all. Another thing that Katie Joy said was she said Robert Shin's attorney is saying, I have no sources. How are they saying I have no sources? I have sources. How dare they say I have no sources? They're saying I have no sources. But everything I state is from other publications or other, whatever. Bullshit. No, it's not. You're saying things, either you said it first and then they published it, or you're saying things that were never said. You're twisting it, you're embellishing it, whatever it may be. And so then they did the hashtag. See, I'm thinking, okay, the 7M lawsuit in LA, okay? The lawsuit in LA has stated to the court, hey, Lamb Chop, Yeah, Radiant Brit had put out some stuff back then. Yeah, and it got people to open their eyes. But see, people have stopped doing that, and so she's making a comeback again. But I think slowly she does it on her own. You know, runs people away. But yeah, see, so you stopped following her in 2020. I kind of started all this in 2022, right before she got sued. I lost my train of thought, y'all. Sorry. I do that often. The lawsuit in LA, basically what they're saying to the court in that lawsuit, what they were saying to the court whenever they were requesting I don't know, and all of it, basically what the narrative is over there is they're saying this lawsuit is what caused the raid. Because if you look at what the raid was about, and then you look at the lawsuit, it's the exact same thing. Okay. And the Netflix docuseries, right? They're all kind of tied together. So they're saying that these lawsuits between LA, now they didn't really say much about Minnesota, but in Minnesota, they're saying it. They're saying that Katie Joy is the reason why the raid happened. But in LA, they're saying it even stronger. So it looks here, if they're going to be talking so much about this Netflix docuseries, because they're doing like this is what's in these 212 statements, y'all. These hashtags here: 7M Films, Netflix coming soon, Dancing for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult, Dancing for the Devil on Netflix, Shekinah Church. Those are all the hashtags that 7M is included. Okay, I think they're going to either be able to prove or really try to prove. I don't know what they have. I don't know, right? We don't know. We won't know until the trial. But what it looks like is what they're saying is Katie Joy is responsible for a lot of this. This Netflix docuseries, Katie Joy was a part of. She brought certain information. Hot Tea asked what will happen if KJ loses but doesn't have money to pay. They'll go after her. They could go after her assets. They could go after potential income. She could be docked. She might try to file bankruptcy. I don't think that'll play. Here's the thing, y'all. I think she has issues. Thank you for Rabbit for doing that. Yeah, if y'all are trying to ask me a question and I don't see it, sometimes I don't get to pay full attention to chat. Type it in caps. Type it in capital letters, and that'll get my attention. I think part of the reason why she hasn't provided her tax records, I think there's some things there. I think she's probably switched assets over. I think there's a lot of things that they're going to find out financially. She never thought it was going to get to this point, y'all. We know that. The way she spoke, she said it was never going to get to this point. She never thought it would get here. And here we are. She never thought it would get here. And here we are. Okay. So, again, if y'all haven't hit that thumbs up, please hit that thumbs up. It'll help keep us in the algorithm while we talk about this lawsuit. So I think a lot of things are going to come out with that. I don't know if she has provided all the, her tax records yet. That's just my hunch. I could be way off. She could be totally clean with it. I don't know. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that. I predict if this goes to trial, I should say when, but I have to be careful and say, anything can happen, y'all. I think she's going to lose big time. And I think she's going to be on the hook for a lot. And I think that now, if these 212 statements, or at least the majority of these 212 statements go, if Katie's not able to argue these and stop these from going to the jury, I think it's really bad for her. And I think she's going to be on the hook for a lot. And honestly, one thing that I do agree with Katie Joy about is he's out to bankrupt her. And I think he's going to be successful. She fucked with the wrong man. And Suzanne, who was in chat earlier, she might still be just listening. She might be, she might have other things to do. But Suzanne has said it too. Like, he's not going to settle, y'all. She's told me this from the very beginning. And what she said to me made perfect sense. I've held by that. I believe it. I get it now. And he's out for blood, y'all. Not, I don't mean that literally. Okay. I don't mean it like that. He's out to bankrupt her. I agree with her on that one. That's what she's trying to do to him. Ultimately, this could hurt. She's hurt him financially. And someone like him is not going to, that doesn't go over lightly. Hey, Bo Roundtree, how are you doing today? Oh, he's not playing games. And then Misty, you've seen some of the posts and stuff that I've put out in my videos where she's like, he's not taking this seriously. He doesn't care about this lawsuit. He's just doing this to play games. Who in their right minds would be spending all this money to an attorney in Minnesota if he's not serious about it? Is that just a narrative she wants her people to believe because they believe anything she says? Or like, and then, those statements have been submitted here as well. The jury's going to see that. The judge has already seen this, that she's saying, oh, he's not taking it seriously. Bullshit. Sad it takes a man like Shin to take Katie down. Yes and no. I mean, look, the Duggars aren't going to do it. They don't sue. Todd Chrisley. Oh, I know that man's circling back around. I've got to get my my little sound bites up. I've got some funny ones that when we talk about Todd Chrisley would be funny to play. I think Todd Chrisley's going to circle back around. I think Todd Chrisley and Robert Shin might be the two that do it. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you, Vivian. I'm loving these gifts are so interesting for me because it's weird because like I'll go in somebody's chat and I'll see it says you have these gifts to use. So thank you for choosing to use them on me. And I never know what they mean whenever I'm in somebody's chat, and I'm never in anybody's chat that I want to send them to because I'm usually just reading chat to be a snoop. And the people that I really listen to, a lot of times I've had to play them on replay or I watch them on Rumble. So thank you for that. So I'll go in some people's chat and I won't say that I have any. And then I'll go in somebody else's chat and I'll say that I have jewels to use. Good to see you. Thank you for that. I hope he drains her account just like she did to LB. Thank you, Sandy. Yes. Yes. I think for LB, I hope that, look, sometimes justice takes a very long time to happen. But it does. And whatever's going to make LB feel good in her heart, whatever's going to make her feel good about this situation, that's all that matters, right? She deserves justice. And however she gets it, I hope she does. And whatever comes of this, if it makes her feel good, then I feel good. You know what I mean? Regarding her. She did it wrong. Yeah. I think Robert's got a lot of missions, but I think this is probably, this is definitely a mission to take Katie Joy down. Look, we're here for it. She needs to stop hurting people. I mean, I see it as hurt. Other people see it as hurt. How our people don't see it, I don't know. But there are people that leave there, they see the light and they're like, oh yeah, she does. But again, I mean, she's going to have her supporters. It is what it is, right? All right, statement 100. Again, what's highlighted is the only statements that they have. I mean, that's what they included within this post. That's the only statement they included in the 212. For number 100, it is Shin is now forcing dancers to see their families. We were just talking about this, right? We were just talking about this. When they see their families, the dancers will take photos and sometimes videos to post onto their social media to make the public happy. That is not going to go over well in court. That is not going to go over well in court. And Miranda's already said that's not true. Katie Joy told them to ignore her. That's not going to go over well in court. Their sworn affidavits say the opposite. That's not going to go over well. Who is a jury going to believe? Miranda and James or Katie Joy? I don't think Katie Joy is a likable person. And that's not something you can teach someone like Katie Joy. Well, thank you, hot tea drinker. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, LB is lovely, and Katie Joy hates that. And I'm glad that LB was the person to walk away, show dignity, keep her class, and not mention Katie Joy. At least that's what I know of the story. Again, I'm kind of removed from that aspect of it. So that's how I see it. And I'm hoping that other people see it as that way, because I think that's how it needs to be. Oh, how cute. Thank you so much for the sunshine. I appreciate all of y'all for all of the little gifts. I'm going to play this real quick because I need to adjust myself, and it makes noise. I need to change the way I'm sitting. My legs are asleep.
Thank you for the love and the money. While we keep covering this dummy, it keeps this little channel growing, so we can keep this crazy going. From the bottom of our heart, we love you so dang much.
All right, so let's see. Let's go to the bottom of this one. Hold on, let me pull this back up. My legs are falling asleep, y'all. Now I'm like the way that I'm sitting. I'm waiting for it to go down. LB took the advice of ignoring the woman because otherwise Katie Joy doesn't quit. She will come for jobs, nursing license, anything else. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she's something. In fact, many of the dancers' social media accounts are allegedly managed by church mentors. See, this is, and they've even said, and there's been correspondence between there's correspondence between the attorneys where they say, look, you know, they've said under under sworn, like in their sworn affidavits, that they manage their own accounts. The posts are done to try to trick the public. As a result, Melanie Wilking does not post photos with her sister on social media because she knows it's only for Robert. There is no family reunion. There is no family reunion. Okay, so now, because, no, again, she is, thank you so much for sending a finger heart. I'm not seeing them. Some of them I see, some of them I don't. Oh, she'll definitely appeal if she loses. And that's her right. That's her right. There is no family reunion. Obviously, the Wilkings are the ones saying, no, this isn't how it's going. She's saying Miranda is still under Robert's control, lives in his housing, and is likely paying upwards of 70% of her income directly to Robert and the church. That's not going to go well. That's just not going to go. That's just not going to read well to the jury. Hey, LA DA office. Okay, so she tagged the DA's office. 3 women filed charges. See, this is why they're including all this. Same thing that we talked about prior. Like, they're trying to show that Katie Joy is inciting all these people to contact law enforcement. Here she's saying, contact the DA's office. 3 women filed charges against Robert Shin. You have the file. Why haven't you charged him? And I'm going to leave my opinions of that to myself. Okay? Because I've seen one of them. But again, I am not here, and I never will victimize a victim. If you have a story to tell and you've told it and you were able to tell it on the Netflix docuseries, that's your story to tell. And that's just where I'm going to leave it, right? Oh yeah, she'll definitely appeal, Rabbit. Yeah. You know, that's her story. That's their story to tell. And so if you want to come out and say, I filed charges against Robert Shin, then do it. If you want to stay anonymous, I get that. We've seen this. We've seen it. And if law enforcement and other agencies don't think that that's enough to charge him with, you know, grape charges and all that. I mean, because keep in mind, Katie Joy said, you know, on TikTok, Robert Shin is a serial rapist. Those were her exact words. And trust me, we're going to see that within these 212 statements. And so, you know, I think this is 7M's way of saying, you know, look, she incited, and we're going to see a lot more of these. There's a lot more of her tagging the sheriff's office, LAPD, the DA's office. She talks about contacting the IRS. She encourages people to contact the FBI. Yeah, I know. Why to keep going after Miranda? Maybe Jen is an asshole, but what did Miranda really do? And that's what I never understood. Like, why did she get the hate after the docuseries? If everybody's going to label her a victim, why are we hurting her? Why are we attacking her? It doesn't make sense. We should be protecting her. Please be mindful that the last time the story went viral, a woman in the cult was physically assaulted for speaking up and informing others about Robert's crimes, leaving negative comments on any of the dancers' Instagrams will and can contribute to them becoming a target of violence by Robert or his mentors. Please remember they are victims. What? Okay, see, do you see the twist right there? It's so funny because I didn't even read what was on the screen as we were saying this. See how she twists it? Please be mindful that the last time this story went viral, a woman in the cult was physically assaulted for speaking up and informing others about Robert's crimes. Leaving negative comments on any of the dancers' Instagrams will and can contribute to them becoming a target of violence by Robert or his mentors. You're calling them liars. You're saying that they don't like their family. You're saying, she goes on and on about how they don't visit the family, how they don't, she didn't go to her grandfather's funeral, all these things making her look like this horrible person. And then everybody goes after her. And then she's like, oh, well, if you do that, then she's going to be abused physically by Robert and his mentors, because she says it with, oh, don't forget, last time somebody tried it, they were physically assaulted. And now she's saying, so don't leave any comments because that's going to happen to them. Please remember they are victims. Really, Katie Joy? Because if you're going to call yourself an advocate, you've got a funny fucking way of showing how to advocate. Miranda lost her career. I really hope this comes out and Netflix comes to Southern Mountain to make a new series. No, Rabbit, no. No, don't say that 3 times. Once is enough. Because Katie Joy likes to attack attractive young women and older women, middle-aged women. If they're attractive and successful, Katie Joy is going to attack them. That's just a pattern I've seen. That's just my opinion. Because she's talented and pretty. That brings out the green-eyed monster in some people like Katie Joy. Yes, SD. Oh, she's coming for those parents. I can foresee it. Misty Mo, I agree. She needs someone to blame. I wonder if she will have them on the stand. That's one thing that I'm really curious about that too. There's some people that I talk to that say they don't think the Wilkins will be there. There are some people that say they think they'll be front and center. I'm 50-50. I don't know. But if they show up and they are actually there for Katie Joy, oh my word, that's just awful. I cannot even imagine the pain. Now, if they decide to kind of flip and go, look, we never said all of these things. We never gave Katie Joy the permission to say XYZ. Like this, I'm not saying this statement right here, but let's say that they're showing a statement at trial or something, and they say, look, we never gave her that permission. Then yeah, Katie will eventually turn on them. They have to know that. I don't know how it's going to turn out. But we do know that the Wilkings hate Robert Shin. They want to bring Robert Shin down. They've even said they've met with the FBI regarding him. They've hired private investigators regarding all of this. They've contacted the IRS, according to Katie Joy. And so they want Robert Shin taken down. So I don't see them being there on behalf of Miranda, because it is 7M, Robert Shin, Miranda Derrick, and James Derrick as plaintiffs. So I don't know how that's going to play out. Statement 102. I share the legal fight that I endured while helping to work on the series. The smear campaign and financial toll of battling Robert Shin nearly broke me mentally, but I refused to settle with a bully. Who's the bully? My legal fight with a TikTok cult leader almost broke me. I got sued for working on new docuseries on Netflix. No, that's not why you got sued. And you know, that right there, showing to a jury, wait a minute, she's telling all of her people that she got sued because she worked on the docuseries. But here's 212 statements that suggest otherwise. Here are some statements that suggest that she brought this information to Netflix docuseries. Here's proof to show that she had, that she was, that her narrative was part of the Netflix docuseries. Yes, there are other people involved in this docuseries, and it should have been more about their stories because they were there to tell their stories. (102) Following dancers' accounts only helps Robert. So here's where she's saying, like, don't even follow them. Take away all of your support. Hang on one second, y'all. My dog needs something. Okay, sorry, y'all. KJ is no victim in this. She's not. And that's another thing that takes me back to the February 9th hearing, y'all. I know I keep bringing it up, but she even said, Robert Shin says I was a victim of his. I've never said I was a victim of Robert Shin. She says that, but I have proof. Like, I even showed it in I've shown it in videos where she says, I am a victim of Robert Shin. I know of 3 places where she said it. So, anyways, but following dancers' accounts only helps Robert. So here she's saying, like, don't follow them. Don't give them any support. Let's take away all their financial income. Like, they're victims, but let's just make them homeless victims, right? Let's just push them further into the cult. Let's just push them further in. So it's wrong. It's just, and I think that that's going to be a big thing for that the jury's going to see too, right? That that she caused a lot of people to leave. And whenever she's saying things like that, it causes people, she knows how trolls work. She knows how people are. She knows people are going to go over there and give them hate. So this is number 103 deleted. So this was deleted. Hopefully this shows the date on there too. Some of these other ones up to this point were deleted. They were either set, like if they said it was deleted, or some of them I might not have put on here that it was deleted, but if I did, it was absolutely deleted and potentially an issue. Katie's never been the victim of anything. She's the instigator. I agree. That's my opinion too. I know, Misty Mo. How do her followers not ask questions? Like, I get it, right? She's allowed to have followers. She's allowed to have support, blah, blah, blah. I get it. She's a totally different person on YouTube than she is on Instagram and TikTok. Okay. I see why some people follow her because they see certain things. They see that she's trying, they think she's doing good, whatever it may be. And it's so frustrating to me. And with this lawsuit, again, am I saying that I support Robert Shin? Am I saying that I am like, what I'm saying is this lawsuit has been taken, is still in the courts for a reason. Okay. We're talking about it for a reason. It's not because I work for Robert Shin. It's not because I support Robert Shin. I've never said if I support him or not support him. What they've done to Miranda and James is wrong. If they can prove that the raid happened and there are certain aspects of that raid that never should have happened, and it was because it was incited from Katie Joy and other people like in the LA situation, then so be it, right? But this lawsuit is continuing on because this judge sees it as a problem, a potential problem. She sees that a jury could find these statements to be defamatory, and she's leaving it up to a jury to decide. Yeah, she puts out content every single day. She's on top of it. She stays, and some people aren't into all the drama behind it. They're just watching her videos because it's something that she puts out. It's entertaining to them, and they don't look at all the little side details of it all. If you're not on TikTok watching her on Instagram and seeing all the other things, it's a different side of Katie Joy. I've always said that, and hate it or love it, it doesn't matter. It is what it is, right? And so, but I still sometimes don't see how her followers can't see it. But again, that's, Okay, so this statement was deleted. What's highlighted is what's included in the new amended complaint. There are many families that have lost loved ones to Shekinah Church under Robert Shin's teachings. How are you going to prove that? Number one, it's deleted. So what does that say? Robert teaches that people must die to themselves by cutting off everyone and everything from their lives from before they joined the church. Members are told that they must limit contact with their families to help save them from hell. Shin brainwashes people to believe that if they remain in contact with their families, that they cannot achieve prosperity or salvation. There are also threats of damnation of the families. Okay, so this was deleted. Why was it deleted? If you are so firm on, if you stand so firmly on everything you say, why delete it? And how are you going to prove this? How are you going to prove that, where are your sources for this? It's like I said, going back to the February 9th hearing, Katie Joy's like, they keep saying I have no sources. Where are your sources for this? If members miss church meetings to see their families, they are punished by losing work opportunities. Who is going to testify to this? And are not invited to church events. Again, who's going to testify to this? The more events that are missed, the more the members are isolated from the group and punished. I'm curious to see who is going to attest to this. Who is going to stand by saying this? Yeah, right, King Yukon. KJ makes it sound like this is a massive church, with the truth being there's probably under 30 actual members. There are under 30 members, and a lot of them are family. They're related. They're family. And die to yourself is a mainstream Christian principle. And so here she's bringing up the only other person who was involved in the docuseries, right? His family participated, and quickly after, they stopped everything. And you could tell that they told Katie Joy to stop talking about him. If you're going to do this, talk about Robert Shin. This is about Robert Shin. Magalia and Lawrence bravely step out to not only help free their son, but they seek to help all the victims trapped inside the group. And it's my belief, and I could be wrong. This is just what I believe from just watching and seeing. Again, I didn't stay real, I didn't stick too closely to the whole Netflix thing, and Nick, but I don't know. I think his family regretted being a part of it, honestly. I don't think that they realized what it was going to do and what it became. And hopefully they've been able to mend everything with their son, and that they're all okay, and that Reno's okay, right? Like, I don't know, but that's just what it appears, that they told Katie Joy, stop talking about us and stop talking about him. The only ones that talked are the Wilkings and continued to talk. Okay. No other family members of Vic, and the others. Kind of funny. And so then again, the hashtags, 7M Films, Netflix, coming soon, Dancing for the Devil, a 7M TikTok cult, Dancing for the Devil on Netflix, Shekinah Church. So they're considering those hashtags to be, part of this post. And so again, how much of this Netflix docuseries are they going to bring into this trial regarding Katie Joy, and saying that that is part of what brought a lot of this stuff on? Are y'all ready to end here? Should we continue going for a little bit more? Should we be done for today? We're at 104. What do y'all think? Let me know what y'all think. I can keep going for a little bit longer. It's been 2 hours. Yeah. See, that's the thing. The way that she spoke about, what would happen inside their church, and everything. And it's a different environment. It's a different culture. It's a different everything. So Korean Christianity is very different from anything KJ would even know anything about, King Yukon says. But she's a theological scholar with her University of Google degree. Yeah, Does she, but I don't even think, I think it's just, I don't think she Googles some of the shit she'll even Google, right? Pretty sure she doesn't. Continue. We'll go on for a few more minutes. Well, let's go. We'll try to get to 110 today. Thank you so much, Laura. A flower. These jewels. Loving them. Katie has many fake degrees. All right. Let me see. Let me pull this back up. All right. That's right. One day, no one will remember for you, Robert Shin. Let's see what she says here. I think this was an Instagram video. Facts don't matter to Katie Joy, it seems. And, and that's what 7M is here to argue. She says, who gives an F? Nobody's going to remember you. I know that she did a video, that this was like a short that she did on Instagram. Did I hit play? Yeah. Oh, I guess they didn't. So this is the post that was underneath it. No, it's not, because that was 104, right? All right. This is a public service announcement to be kind to the dancers still trapped inside the cult. They are victims and they do not deserve hate. Really? Oh, thank you so much, Jilby. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Jilby says, thank you for your work and time on this, JJ. You're welcome. Again, I think this is important for people to recognize and see that there is a lawsuit out there for defamation, and this can happen to creators.
Thank you so much, my mutton friend. Just remember that I would not be here if it weren't for y'all. And for that, I love you so dang much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me go back real quick. I mean, she knows that they're going to get hate. Even making comments, even making, posts like this, like it's so, because in the next breath, it'll be about how she's a liar, how she's, Misty. Robert loves the algorithm. Oh, let me grab my glasses on this one. Do I have them? Robert loves the algorithm, and he knows all comments increase engagement. The best way to impact Robert is by not watching the videos of the dancers. So you're saying don't leave them hate, but don't watch. Like you're again talking on both sides of your mouth. It's like you're saying the same shit. And unfollowing them is also an opinion. Of course, I cannot interfere in Robert's business. So this was after some things were said by 7M, obviously, and she's mocking them by saying, whenever they called her out for, doing certain things. But the dancers don't control their social media. Their comments, DMs, and posts are controlled by their managers and mentors. They will delete and block you. Engaging with this group, in my opinion, is extremely dangerous. So is she trying to say, like, look, if you go over there and you leave bad comments, you're leaving them for Robert? Is she what is she trying to do here? So just don't go leave bad comments, but don't engage. Don't go over there at all. Like, take away all their money. So remember that there are people still trapped, and it's Robert that is the bad guy, not the dancers. Then let the dancers just do their shit. Let them dance. Let them, even if they're bringing money in for Robert, deal with this a different way. You're pushing them in further. If they are in a cult, if they are victims, how do people not see this? How do people not see that they are potentially pushing them in further if this is the case? Following them is making Robert wealthy. The dancers are living on tiny allowances in housing via the church and monitored constantly. Robert, of course, will deny everything, and he will deny the audio is even him. Well, how is he going to deny the audio is him? That's just Robert. Okay, whatever. And then all of the hashtags they included as well. Puppet. Yeah, it is like lamb chop. I don't even know how or why. Okay, so that was May 29th of 2024, y'all. I don't even know how or why I started with that that little lamb, that sheep. I don't know. It was when I started my channel back in 2022, which that was my original channel. I thought I was going to stop YouTube. I deleted that channel. It had nothing to do with Katie Joy. Okay. Let me reiterate. When I deleted my channel the first time, it had nothing to do with Katie Joy. It had to do with some other shit related to something else. Completely separate, right? And I guess I was, back then, the AI wasn't as big or whatever. And so I don't know. I found this dancing sheep and I made it part of my intro, and then I just kept it. I don't know. And then I just kind of like it. I think it's cute. And it looks just like lamb chop. I even have like a little toy lamb chop, dog toy lamb chop for my dog. Not because of this. It's just because lamb chop's cute. I remember a post where she implied Miranda was Robert's favorite, as in, we played that. Is that the one that I remember when I cussed so much last time? Was that the one I was cussing at, Rabbit? I mean, yeah, Rabbit. Rabbit. I was reading Rabbit and Robert at the same time, where it says Robert's favorite. She is so disturbed in the head, meanwhile trying to be an advocate in the same breath. You can't make this up. I know. She has said that, like, she's the most privileged. Oh, and there's another post where she said that Miranda's the most privileged because she has a car. But then you say that she doesn't have a car, and they're gonna get, like, that one was one of the with the first 20, I think. I think that post was very early on. She might say it again. Y'all look at that face. Yeah, PBS. Wasn't it on PBS? Oh, and The Price is Right. Man, those were the best summers. The best summers in the morning. Like whenever you could watch the game shows and shit. There was no cable, really, was there? Well, I mean, there was, I think, but there wasn't many options. And I'm sure we had the option where our parents could block us from watching HBO during the day. TV raised me. We watched a lot of it in the summer, but we were up and at the pool bright and early in the morning, and we were at the pool most of the day. So when we were home, we did watch TV. Her face is annoying. Carol Burnett was hilarious. All right, statement 106.
The longer Miranda's in, the more likely she will be preyed on and become a victim of not only his cult, but of also the essay that he allegedly.
I'm trying to be nice, y'all, and I'm trying to be nice and not be, I'm just gonna not say it.
Does.
But
of not only his cult, but of also the essay that he allegedly does.
I'm sorry, I got distracted. I had mean thoughts go through my head. I'm not gonna be a bully. Yeah, no kids out playing, riding bikes anymore as much. Man, I mean, y'all know this. Like back in the day, I'm sure there's a lot of you that can relate. Back in the day, I knew where all my friends were. All I had to do was get on my bike and go to the house that had everybody's bike in the front yard. And you know whose bike was who. And you knew if your friend was at that house or if that was a different group of friends. And if it wasn't a bike that you recognized, you would keep on pedaling and you would go to the next house and you'd see another group of bikes. And if you saw a bunch of bikes piled on the lawn and they were your friends, you would go hear them in the in the backyard doing whatever. You walk around that way, or you would knock on the door. Now you can't knock on anybody's door, especially not in Texas. She looks like she has a permanent hangover. I'm tired of talking about Katie Joy. We're going to read this one. I'm going to be done. Yeah. She just claims anything about the situation because look, she never thought this would get this far. Look at, like, that's what I was saying earlier, like with the Duggars. She talked so much shit on the Duggars for all those years. No, she had no accountability. She wasn't. And then whenever, like with Tati and with, that settled. And then, first it was dismissed for jurisdiction in Washington. And then I always have to reiterate this. And then it was brought, then they sued her in Minnesota and they settled. Todd Chrisley sued her in Minnesota. They settled. I think that's going to come back around. And so she's never really had to like really face the consequences of doing certain shit. And I guess she assumed that Robert's beliefs and whatever are like the Duggars and that they wouldn't sue. But then again, she had all these lawsuits that he was involved in. So she knows that he would. So I don't know. I just don't know. So you can't get into her brain. Gen X childhood was the best ever. I rode my bike all over my neighborhood. I used to go for miles. I had friends that probably lived 8 miles away. And it would be this time of year, 112 degrees outside on my bike. And then somewhere along the way, you'd pick up another friend that was heading that same direction because they were going to the clubhouse or they were going to another friend's. And then you would ride along with them. And then they'd be, all right, that's mine. And then they would just take a right on the street they were headed to. And they would see you later. And then you just keep on pedaling until you get to your friend's house. One more, Rabbit says. I was never going to allow a man engaged in this conduct accuse me of defamation. Oh, you weren't going to allow him to? Well, guess what, bitch? Now you've got 212 statements that he says is defamatory. So you didn't have to allow him to do anything. He just took it upon himself and fucking did it. When everything we have reported is a fact. Okay, that's going to get her in trouble. That's going to get her in trouble because there are things that she has reported that 7M is probably going to be able to prove is not a fact. Yes, I bet it was so much fun, Jilbia. Those are good memories, huh? Hose water was delicious in the heat. Man, look, if we can survive drinking 120-degree water straight out of a rubber garden hose, there's no telling what chemicals, what was in that rubber, what was in that water, and we all drank it. Walking around barefoot like old fuck old Huck Finn, right? Feet like leather. Mouths could probably take gasoline. I mean, it was like, man, we were tough in the 80s. I mean, that's just the truth. Hose water was delicious. When we were building the pool out here, we were putting the pool up. I was dying of thirst and didn't want to walk up to the house. And so I drank out of the hose water. And it was like a really good memory. It was like good flashback. Maybe it's worse for her to call herself a reporter. That's why I want to talk to somebody who has more knowledge regarding that as time goes on, as we get closer to the trial. 80s movies were the best. My little buddy who's coming, I get her tomorrow. She'll be staying with me. She loves 80s movies. And it's not because her parents pushed them on her. She just loves the 80s. Back to the Future. That's what she wanted to watch, the series of it when she was here last, and we couldn't find a place to stream it. Okay, back to Katie Joy. Boo-hoo. Let's finish this one. She said that she's not going to allow him to defame, to accuse her of defamation, when everything we have reported is fact. His own words debunked all of his claims in the lawsuit he filed against me. As a present to Robert, to add even more joy to this day. Okay, look, y'all, this is, now I remember this one. I didn't remember it till just now. As a present to Robert, to add even more joy to this day, for Robert, Shirley, Hannah, James, and Miranda were served with deposition notices. You dipshit. It's part of a lawsuit. Part of a lawsuit. You were deposed too. As a present, to add even more joy to this day. And then she adds James and Miranda in there. Why didn't you leave James and Miranda off, right? She is so pissed off at Miranda for going this far and not listening to her. She hates Miranda, y'all. I've done videos on it. She acts like she's supportive. That's why I don't understand how her family supports this shit. She acts like she's supportive of her. She's not. Look, she's basically saying, to add more joy, haha, I deposed you, James and Miranda. Of course you fucking did. They're the plaintiffs suing your ass. Of course they're going to be deposed. Do you think people seriously reading this and going, oh my God, way to go, Katie Joy, way to go, way to depose? Like, what? Way to serve them with deposition notices. Oh, yes, Robert added James and Miranda to the lawsuit. This would be bad for her, too. They likely have no clue that they are suing me because, well, Hannah and Shirley signed documents for them. Bad move. Saying that Miranda and James have no idea that they're suing Katie Joy, and then accuses Hannah and Shirley of signing documents for them. Miranda's her biggest threat, says Jill B. Miranda's family is jealous. She moved up and left them behind, says Bean. And Rabbit says, I'm just really glad you're going through these. What was I thinking, y'all? Whew, we still have over 100 more of these. We're just a little over halfway. But we're just going to go through them slowly. I'm also putting out videos. Like after I do them on a live stream, I'm going to be putting out videos. So people that don't follow the live streams or don't want to listen to me with all my distractions, with chat. Look, y'all keep me sane in this. If I didn't have the opportunity to go live and talk to y'all in chat, I don't know if I would still be doing it, honestly. And if I did, it would be so disconnected. So I appreciate y'all for being here. I appreciate all the support. Those in the bushes that don't comment, I appreciate you just as much. I appreciate the people that watch the replay. I understand it's a lot. I've been on almost 2.5 hours. That's a lot. That's a lot. But it helps me get this out. It helps me talk through it. I get y'all's point of view. I get y'all's comments. It helps me. And then I'll do a video also breaking them down to where I did one already, 1 through 50. I've got another one set up to, all I got to do is a voiceover. It's 50 through 84 or something like that. And I'll explain in the beginning of that one what those statements are, the timing, etc., what to look out for. And then it's just the statements, right? So somebody who doesn't want to sit through all this, I totally get it. I totally get it. Then I'll have the videos out as well. So I don't think this is going to go over well for her. This group is so insidious that I hope that James and Miranda wake up before these people drag them into more lawsuits that they can't afford. Are you? This is not going to be good. Number one, I don't think James and Miranda are paying out of pocket for this. I think Robert is covering this whole lawsuit. Katie Joy would say that he's going to take it out of their earnings. Well, what earnings? Okay. You already stopped that. So these kind of posts right here make me see red, and these are the ones that make me scream. Close your ears if you don't want to hear me cuss. Trigger, not a trigger warning, just a warning. Fuck you, Katie Joy. Fuck you. Fuck you, what you've done to James and Miranda, and what you continue to do to James and Miranda, and what you've done to everybody involved in this situation. All right, I won't cuss anymore. I can't stand it. Can't stand it. Can't stand it. Go after Robert. Go after Robert. Here, you're basically saying they don't know what they're doing because Robert's controlling it all. But why do you have to bring him up? You could say this without saying this. You could go after Robert here. But no, you have to bring up James and Miranda. And I don't have the picture of what this post was, but my guess is it was a picture of James and Miranda because that's what she did. She put a picture of Miranda, at least Miranda. Always had a picture of Miranda when she did a post about 7M. Why? Because it's for clicks and views. Her image sells. This is why she talks about this shit. The reason why she brings up Miranda and James is, number one, she hates Miranda. She hates that Miranda didn't listen to her. And she brings her up. Statement 108 is, and this obviously is an Instagram story. I'm shocked law enforcement hasn't gotten involved, even the FBI. But would they tell people if they were? ? So these are on Katie's stories. And that's not, I don't think that's what Katie said. I think that's a question that somebody left Katie. And then she says, again, contact the LADA's office. They have a file that is just sitting, waiting for them to charge Robert. If Robert is not charged, okay, if this whole situation with the raid comes back and he is not indicted, if the DA's office, all local law enforcement has already cleared him of this kind of stuff and he hasn't been charged there, if he's not going to be indicted from this federal situation, this is so bad for Katie Joy. And that could be why she's quiet, right? Finally, she's realizing that what she's done is getting her in some hot water. You know? It's bad, y'all. This is bad. If their point is to prove that Katie Joy incited people to make phone calls, she's telling her people, contact the DA's office in LA. She even tagged them. This is so bad. She said, somebody says, why hasn't law enforcement gotten involved? Why hasn't FBI gotten involved? And then she says, well, contact them. Y'all, if 7M, and again, I'm an anti-Katie Joy person, clearly, but I also have to stay neutral in this and stay reasonable with this lawsuit. If 7M is able to prove, because let's say Robert Shin is innocent in all these things that Katie Joy is accusing him of, or the majority of the bad things that Katie Joy is accusing him of. If he's guilty of tax fraud and all that kind of stuff, well, that sucks, right? It sucks to be you, Robert Shin, and you should pay for any crimes that you commit. But do I think he's going to be charged with any sex crimes? I personally do not. That's just my own opinion, okay? But to sit there and tell your people to contact the DA's office, contact the FBI, contact any other law enforcement, that's bad. Because if they're able to prove down the road that he's not guilty of these things and he's not going to be charged, and 7M has that proof, Amber Stabig has that proof to show the court and to show the jury during this trial, that's bad. Kathy Brown says, I'm waiting for the Duggars to go after her. Will they? I mean, people say they won't, but they've sued people before. Rabbit has Southern Putin stopped working for Robert Shen, right? Telling you. That man's got money. If I'm on his payroll, you better start paying me, Robert Shen. No. I was talking about Katie Joy before this lawsuit. No, I started my channel whenever Katie Joy started the whenever she doxed that person down in Florida that was related to the Gabby Petito. Didn't she call her Petito? Brian Laundrie and Gabby situation. She doxed somebody's vehicle. That did it for me. That did it for me. And but I'd always like kind of been watching and but then that's when I started my channel back in 2022. But again, that channel's deleted. Had nothing to do with Katie Joy. Okay. Have the Duggars been involved in a lawsuit in the past? Yeah, Renelle and Rabbit, no. I think Renelle said that she was she stopped in to say hello, so I can't ask her. She stopped in to say hello because her grandbabies and her babies were there and she was spending the day with them, which I hope they have an amazing day. Summertime, I don't know exactly what Renelle's schedule is with her kids and the ages and all that, so to say. But like when it comes to summer, that's why I enjoy my summers, because I have kiddos that come stay and we get to do fun summer things. I went to a water park 2 weeks ago. That was fun, y'all. I about died. But yeah, I mean, Rabbit and Renelle, and who else talks more about the Duggars? I don't even, when Katie Joy posts about the Duggars, I don't even look anymore. Like I'll see, like if I go on Instagram, I'll see posts regarding it, from Balls. Or if I go check Katie Joy's Instagram for things just to see, I'll see them and I just don't even pay attention because this is enough to follow this lawsuit. Again, I think it's important that people understand that there are lawsuits like this that happen for defamation. I think the courts are starting to become aware of these situations more and more people are starting to sue. Now, when it comes to this stupid drama between creators, I'm going to take you to court and I'm going to sue you. It's bullshit. It's stupid. Don't waste the court's time. Okay. Right. Katie Joy started out by saying this was a frivolous lawsuit. It might have been more frivolous in the beginning than it is now, where it stands now, because now it's not frivolous. Now it's bad. Okay. But these creators that are just like talking shit about one another and say, I'm going to take you to court, right, for defamation. I'm watching these people now that they were going after each other, right? I even did a video about it, Feisty and whatever, regarding Gabby Jacobson. And now the people that she was, one of them was threatening to go after, now they support they've laid down their swords and they're like, fine. Where before all these motions were being filed in the court and it was driving me crazy. Okay, that kind of stuff I can't stand behind. Duke it out. Duke it out. Thank you, Kitty Queen. Thank you so much. Thank you for sending a gift. I saw that one. That Feisty thing was crazy. Oh, you should see it now, Rabbit. She actually, you know what? I did not like Feisty because I was watching her on TikTok, and I'm not a TikTok person. I just saw her shorts. I never watched her live. And I saw this stuff going on, and it just drove me crazy because I follow the Gabby stuff. And so it was driving me crazy. I started following it. I was like, man, as much time as I'm putting into reading this documents, I might as well do a video about it. And I did it. My people didn't care about it. I don't blame you. But recently she's been on YouTube. And I watched her one day and my views changed about her because she owned up to something that she stated that was wrong. She took accountability for shit that she had said and done that was wrong. Anybody that can own up to their mistakes, anybody that can own up and say, I did wrong, I respect you. And then I started to watch her and she's fucking funny. Y'all, she's funny. She's a funny lady. And she's a totally different person on YouTube than she was on TikTok. She's still standing strong in what she stands for. And I don't have to agree with all of it. But when somebody can come out and admit that and she even said, yeah, I know I followed too many things. And she even laughed about it. but she still makes the threats, right? And when she does that, she loses me. It's like, man, I was just like in my head giving you props, and then you just screwed it all up for me. Make another video on that. Oh no, I mean, I posted. If y'all saw on my I shared a post yesterday on my YouTube on my what do they call it, posts, I guess. Is it under posts? Is it under, I forget what they call it now on YouTube. Anyways, I shared it. It's Feisties. She's there. It's called Cam's Law. Y'all can go read about it. You can make your decision.
It don't take a crystal ball to know how some stories end. When someone keeps saying opinions like facts, the courts start listening. Southern mutton don't predict nothing, we just watch and write it down. Don't need a crystal ball to see it coming back around. When you state it like a fact and never check it first. Southern mutton, watch it close from the courthouse ground. True, stay patient while the paper getting worse. Same routine, new headline phone. Same bold claims that the record don't want. She speak real loud, no maybe, no seems. Turn opinions into facts like the courtroom clean. I ain't wishing nothing, I just seen the signs. When the words outrun proof, it's a matter of time. History repeat when you don't learn yet. Courts don't care what you meant, just what you said. When confidence louder than evidence be, that's when patterns start explaining things to me. Don't need a crystal ball to see it coming back around. When you speak like a verdict before the truth's found. Southern mutton in the case, boots firm on the tile. We don't chase drama, we just watch the file, yeah. Country rap calm, I don't glow to grin. I just read the docket when it rolled back in. She called it truth, call it just how it is. But courts draw lines where the talking ends. I ain't psychic, I'm observing. Facts don't bend cause a voice is urgent. From testimony tone to the written page. Same outcome when the pattern don't change. Lies like speed, truth like distance. One burns fast, one keeps existing. On lies like speed, truth like distance. One burns fast, one keeps existing. Don't need a crystal ball, don't need belief. When the law still runs on proof and receipts. Southern mutton watching through the courtroom glass, pointing out lies as they saying it's facts. Yeah. This ain't prophecy, this ain't hate, just history watching itself repeat. When words get reckless, the courts get busy, and the truth always shows up right on time.